And those are the images on your screens of the car in which Noida Techie 27-year-old Yuvraj was traveling in that fell into the ditch, the 30 feet deep ditch. He drowned to his death. 3 days on, 72 hours on, finally the officials have been able to locate the car, locate the vehicle and pull it out. Those are the images on your screens. It was right down at the bottom of that 30 feet deep ditch, and it's now been pulled out by the authorities. They've had quite a struggle for the last many days trying to even locate it. That entire area filled with water, with slush, with wild growth, they've finally been able to locate it. But it tells you really what 27-year-old Yuvraj had to endure, what he went through as he waited for some help, as he waited for someone to come to his aid. Nobody did, of course, which is why he unfortunately drowned to his death on that cold night over the weekend. And now the car being pulled out after hours of search. Rescue authorities for the last many days have been searching that entire area, going around in boats, taking scuba teams as well to go and dive right in, dive deep and find the vehicle. They've finally been able to pull it out. Arvind Ojha is joining us with more details on this. Arvind, finally the car being located after great difficulty.
4 दिन लग गए कार को निकालने के लिए और उसके लिए एनडीआरएफ की टीम, गोताखोर और ये जो प्रैक्टिस है सुबह से चल रहा था ये एफर्ट कार को ट्रेस करने के लिए। पहले कार को ट्रेस किया गया और उसके बाद अगर आप देख पा रहे हैं तो ये जो पानी है इसके अंदर से जो एनडीआरएफ की टीम है वो इस कार को निकाल रही है। सुबह से मशक्कत की गई थी और सबसे बड़ी नाकामी है कि 4 दिन बाद इस कार को ट्रैक किया गया और तब इसको निकाला गया है। ये कोई यमुना रिवर नहीं है, कोई और बड़ा रिवर नहीं है। ये नोएडा के सबसे पॉश सेक्टर में से एक 150 सेक्टर के बीचों बीच ये जो प्लॉट है जिसमें बेसमेंट खुदा हुआ था उसमें ये बारिश का पानी जमा हुआ था, जिसमें जो इंजीनियर युवराज है उसकी गाड़ी जाकर फंस गई थी, उसकी डेथ हो गई थी और उसको भी रेस्क्यू करने के लिए कई घंटे लगे थे, तब जाके उसको रेस्क्यू किया गया था। तो ये एक बड़ी नाकामी इस पूरे मामले में आई और नोएडा अथॉरिटी की जो लापरवाही थी, शायद यही वजह है कि नोएडा के सीईओ को रिमूव किया गया। फिलहाल कार को ट्रैक कर लिया गया है, जिसकी तस्वीरें सामने आ रही है।
So the first images on your screens there of the car that's been pulled out. Remember, and let's just tell you exactly what happened with Yuvraj. He was driving on a day in the night when the visibility was very poor. This was a bend, a very sharp turn, and there were concrete blocks that were just in fact blocking dividing the road and that massive pit. In one area, there was no concrete block. And so because there was no visibility, Yuvraj, instead of taking right, went straight into that pit as a result. He didn't know what to do. This was in the dead of the night. He immediately got out of the car, stood on top of the vehicle, as anyone would do, thinking your fighting chance is to get on top of the vehicle so you don't immediately drown in that massive pit. He had his phone with him. He sought help. He begged for help. Authorities reached there, very delayed. And yet, despite that, there are so many reports, including eyewitnesses, who suggest that there was no attempt even made by the authorities to reach him, that they didn't go into that water and try to pull him out. But having said that, Yuvraj was seated on top of that car, begging for help for hours. He was on top of that vehicle, hoping someone would be able to pull him out safely. He had nowhere to go. He was stuck there, eventually, tragically drowned to his death. But just look at how that car is being pulled out. Amid all of the muck, the growth, the wild growth, the car was stuck right in between that, wedged right in there, and had gone right to the bottom of the pit, which is why it took so much time and effort for authorities to even fish it out. And just imagine the ordeal that this 27-year-old techie had to undergo for no reason at all, for no blame of his. He was stuck in that position. Zero visibility. And anyone who drives through Delhi NCR will vouch for the fact that this happens very often in winter, that you can just barely about see what's in front of you. And so this young techie, driving in the dead of night, no reflectors, nothing along that particular stretch, went straight into that ditch. There has been a crackdown since, with the authorities ensuring that all of the top, including the Noida Authority CEO, is sacked for allowing this kind of a pit to not just be there, but to languish, to lie there with so much of water. The builder, by the way, has also been cracked down on. Bhupendra Chaudhary, who is joining us live from the spot. भूपेंद्र, हमको बताइए कि क्या हो रहा है वहाँ पे। जैसे हम देख रहे हैं अभी गाड़ी फाइनली they've managed to pull it out.
ये बिल्कुल जो गाड़ी है ये इसे निकाल लिया गया है। इन्होंने काफी करीब 6 से 7 घंटे प्रयास किया, उसके बाद गाड़ी को निकाला गया है। और पहले जब गाड़ी को निकाला जा रहा था वो अंदर इतनी बुरी तरीके से फंसी हुई थी कि जो इनका जिस क्रेन से निकाल रहे थे जो पट्टा था वो टूट गया था। तो गाड़ी दोबारा अंदर चली गई, फिर दोबारा से अंदर जाया गया, दोबारा से उसमें पट्टा लगाया गया। फाइनली इन्होंने 6-7 घंटे का रेस्क्यू करने के बाद गाड़ी को बाहर निकाल लिया गया है। लेकिन बड़ा सवाल ये उठता है, तो गाड़ी तो इन्होंने निकाल ली, लेकिन जिस वक्त 4 दिन पहले अगर ये रेस्क्यू किया जाता तो शायद उस बच्चे को बचाया जा सकता था जो गाड़ी के ऊपर बैठ के लेट के मदद की गुहार लगा रहा था। जी
Okay, Bhupendra getting us that update there from the ground, the tragedy site there in Sector 150 of Noida. The car has been pulled out. Let me also highlight here what the post-mortem report confirmed, that young Yuvraj, who was stuck atop that car in the freezing cold, yelling and begging for help, drowned to his death. In his lungs, they found 1 to 2 liters of water. For hours, he tried to fight. He even called his father, saying, I don't want to die. His father begged for help. And yet nobody could actually reach this young man and pull him out. There are serious questions being asked of the authorities and the kind of help that they were able to provide. Why was the rescue team that was present there not going into the water, not pulling him out, not providing all necessary help? Why wouldn't they have adequate equipment to do so? There are so many questions that are being asked, but just the struggle for the authorities to pull out that vehicle and look at the muck that's being pulled out with it. It gives you a sense really of what it's taken and how much of a struggle Yuvraj really went through. Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor is joining me on the phone line with more on this. Sonal, you were there at that spot early this morning. You saw the hunt going on for this car. But take us through really what that location looks like, Sonal, because that, in a sense, also highlights the glaring lapses that come to the fore.
Just to say that this car that we see on our television screens right now, it's been inside that entire water body for 4 days. It's taken the authorities 4 days to bring out that car. They also lost critical hours to save the life of Yuvraj as well, a very young, promising 27-year-old who could not be saved despite all the authorities being there, standing there and not knowing what to do. It's a national shame that here, in such close proximity to the national capital, this is the situation. But coming back to this car, just look at that. Today, finally after 4 days, the NDRF had actually got onto that water body. They got their boats out, they got divers. They wore their entire suits in, they went in scuba and finally tried to find the car. They got at the location at 11 in the morning. It's taken them now almost 6:45 to get this car out. That again highlights perhaps the massive inefficiency of the system. 4 days later, you finally get your hands on the car and see where it's been found. It's found right there next to the edge. That means perhaps the car was not speeding the way which we were earlier thinking. It fell right into the ditch, flat in. It's right next to the crack where, also to remind our viewers, as we've been saying since the very beginning, that just 15 days ago, another truck had fallen down the same track. That there was a bit of a dent which is there, where you see there was a breach, and that's where the Grand Vitara went in as well. Now, this at the moment is got in and shocked so many people because, Akshita, this could have been your and my car. This is not a very far off place. It's 150 sector. You have apartments there which sell out for 2 CR, 3 CR on the whole. This is the kind of place people aspire to live in, and look at the facilities there. Look at the infrastructure there. This is shocking, embarrassing, to say the least. And clearly now, like we've been saying from the very beginning, just removing the CEO of Noida Authority, who sat on complaint after complaint for 6 years at a stretch, will not be enough. They've got more answering to do. And what are they doing now? Because remember, several death traps like these deadly right-angle turns, which do not have blinkers, which do not have any kind of barricading, which does not even have a street light or a CCTV camera. There are so many of these all across Noida and Greater Noida. These are death traps and disasters which are waiting to happen. The authority's got to get its act together and figure out how to fix the system to its core.
You're right, Sonal. And here on India Today, we promise to follow this up, not just to ensure justice for young Yuvraj, but also to highlight all of those death traps that Sonal was referring to across the country. This isn't just one city's problem. This is an urban nightmare across the country. Let's face it, the kind of infrastructure that we have, accidents, mishaps, tragedies like this are waiting to happen, which is why I would even say that this isn't an accident. It's outright murder. This was something that was waiting to happen, and we've consistently reported of the number of warnings because you had similar incidents of vehicles falling, by the way, through that boundary into the ditch. In those cases, absolutely miraculous that nobody died. But this was a tragedy, therefore, waiting to happen that nobody cared about until, unfortunately, the demise of 27-year-old Yuvraj.